Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. This is Steve, and this is week 6 of the NFL, and these are my picks. Last week I went 3-1, 75%, pretty good. I told you to pick Cincinnati by 1, and I told you it's going to bump up to 3. So even if you waited till later in the week and picked 3, you still got to push. I got them at 1 and then at 2, I believe, later. Then I got New England -8, and they blew them out of the water. Arizona, of course, blew Detroit out of the water. And my fourth pick, which I had the most difficulty in picking, I picked Buffalo, and they did win, but just didn't cover. Well, they won by 1, and they didn't cover by 3. So, yeah. Anyways, everybody asked me about Detroit. You know, last week I knew they were just going to get beat up that bad. And yeah, I bet a lot of money on Arizona, that's for sure. But you know, I just couldn't watch the game. I ended up watching the red zone instead. I just watched the highlights. It was insufferable. You know, they took out Stafford and put in Orlovsky, Dan Orlovsky, and he scored more points than Stafford did. But you know, Arizona. So the problem is with Detroit, the offense is very predictable, and when a great defense like Arizona comes in, they're going to run your routes before you run those routes. So, you know, they need some coaching changes and a new playbook, and basically one that, you know, high school kids don't use. You know, this week Detroit does play. You know, and that's another thing. Let me get this: Detroit's playing Chicago in Detroit. And Detroit, who's 0-5 against 2-3 Chicago Bears, is favored by 3 points. The odds makers originally set it at 2.5, given the 3-point home field advantage. So they're predicting Chicago will win by 1 point. So if you're betting on that game, which I'm not going to bet on this game, you know, Chicago +3 would be a good bet. But, you know, being the fan of me, thinking, you know, Detroit, this is their split road decision. This is where the easy schedule comes in. All their hard games are gone, other than Green Bay, obviously. You know, they had to play, you know, Seattle, Denver, Arizona. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough 0-5 team, you know. So, but, you know, when they got their number, when they got your number, they're gonna come calling. So. Detroit's either going to do great this week or fail miserably. It's the road they're going to take. What they do, I know if they lose to Chicago, there's going to be hell to pay in Detroit. So we're going to wait and see what happens. What I'm telling you, I just stay away from that game. But if you want to bet that game, I'd take the points in Chicago +3. But that's not my official pick. So my official picks are coming right here. My fourth pick of the week, the one seems to be struggling at the most, is we got Carolina traveling to Seattle. Now Seattle, you know, but they're 2-3, right? And if it wasn't for that bad call against Detroit, they'd be 1-4. It's a legitimate gripe to say Seattle should be 1-4. They're playing Carolina, who's 4-0, and they're giving them a 7-point spread. Now I know Seattle's tough to beat at home, and they are playing good at home. But, you know, every time these two teams play, it's like 6-3 score, or 7-10. It's a really low scoring game. These teams are very similar. You know, not a great potent offense, but a better defense. And I think both sides of the offense have problems with each other's defense. Should be a close, low scoring game. So, you know, 7 points is just way too much to me. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm taking that touchdown. That's a free touchdown. So I'm taking Carolina +7. My third pick of the week, we got San Diego, the 2-3 San Diego, traveling to Green Bay Packers. 5-0 Green Bay Packers. Tundra, the frozen tundra. It's not frozen yet, but Green Bay's playing immaculate. I gotta give them hats off. They've been pulling, and they've been beating, covering the spread every week. So, I hate to go to the same well over and over. I thought St. Louis would do a little bit of damage. That's why I didn't go with that 10 points. But they still covered. Green Bay did. And looking at San Diego this past Monday night, they looked horrific. They're beating themselves. Penalties up the butt. And then, they did a pick six. Oh, we got to come back and beat ourselves again, and then end up losing the game at the very end against Pittsburgh, who has no quarterback. So we got Michael Vick. And Michael Vick's got to come into your own stadium and beat you. So, they're traveling to Green Bay, and who's probably the best team in the NFL. And it's a 9.5 point spread. So, yeah, I think Green Bay again will cover and get that 10 plus win over San Diego at home. So take Green Bay minus 9.5. My second pick of the week is the team that never gets any love from Vegas. That's the Arizona Cardinals. I think I picked them just about every week so far, Arizona. Arizona's a great dominant team. They always score 40 plus yards and have a great defense. But yet they're Pittsburgh, who's 3-2, with Michael Vick on a backup quarterback. They're only giving Arizona a -4 spread. I understand Arizona, West Coast, traveling to an East Coast. I understand that. But Arizona is by far a more superior team. And only 4 points. I think this is going to be a blowout game. So go ahead, take Arizona -4 to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And my number one pick of the week, again, going to that same well. I'm going to New England. New England's favored by 7.5 points. They're traveling to Indianapolis. Andrew Luck is practicing. He said that he's feeling better. This spread does cover with Andrew Luck coming back. If he doesn't play, I'm sure the spread will increase. But right now, they got Andrew Luck as playing, so the spread does cover it. So it's New England -7.5. Now, the reason why I'm taking New England -7.5, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback, if it's a guy my age or not. Indianapolis is a bad team. They haven't covered anything against the spread at all this year. And New England's been covering. They're just going on a raid, and especially that Deflategate last year. I think New England's want some revenge to show them, who's boss. And realistically, Patriots are by far a more dominant team, and it's only 7.5 points. I think this game's gonna be like 48-10, so something really way out there. And that's the kind of games I like betting on. If you hadn't noticed, it's those games you bet on and you don't have nothing to worry about. So go ahead, pick New England -7.5 to beat the Colts in Indianapolis. All right, that about wraps it up for the week. Let's bring out the weekly scoreboard for the weekly ATS picks for my fellow prognosticators and myself. Blue Roof Bandit, another exceptional week. This week he got 3-0 and got 100% this week, beating out everybody. So no one tied with him. He's a lone leaderboard. Great picks, great show. It's definitely worth checking him out. Like I said, I got all the links below. Second place was me, Hatbox, Sean P, the football guru, 75%. We all got 3-1 for a week, all winners, betting on house money. Let's see, that got Bridgewater's Finest at 64%. He got 9-5. Then you got Teddy Bear and Geo at 50%. They get both 1-1, and Geo got 2-2. See, Poet 40%. Robert Sports Show 39%. The great Gino, the great comedian, 1-2-1, got 37.5%. And Billy B trailing the rear this week at 1-3, 25%. So that's the weekly winners scoreboard. Check me out every week. Check out how everybody else is doing. Stay with the trends. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next week. Peace.